Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of FNS Sports with, of course, my dad and me, who he calls the genius. But yeah, no, but welcome back, guys. It's been a couple days, maybe even a week, maybe more. But today we will be getting into a couple things. We'll be getting into the Raptors game mostly about like the players' performance, and then we'll get into the trade talks that we're having. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot of trades, a lot of rumors, a lot of things that could be happening. But yeah, man, we're gonna try and get into all of them. We'll start off with some RJ and quickly stuff, but then we'll just go on. But first of all, I gotta say, man, Papa, you're in Portugal, man. I'm in cold Sweden,
Yeah, yeah.
freezing Sweden.
Yeah, man. You are definitely a lot colder than me, and I don't feel bad about it. I feel
Nah,
just
man.
fine.
I just see the beautiful sun in the background, and man, I get that like 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully anyone that's watching this podcast can say that Sweden's not a place to be in December
Nah, not in the
and
winter at
January.
least.
No, not in the winter, not in the winter.
Not
Uh,
in the winter.
I'm sorry, Otto. I'm really sorry. What can I say? Anyway, thanks for the great introduction. I definitely am looking forward to today's talk. It's been a little while, like you said. Not too long though. I think we're trying to keep
No.
our promise of being more consistent. So appreciate that. Let's get into it. Like you're saying, the Knicks versus the Raptors. This was the game that brought back our old friends,
Yeah, man.
some emotions. Quickly almost cried on the
It's
bench.
yeah. Nah, but it's nice to see them back, you know. I mean, we still wish that they could be in the Knicks jersey, but you know, the trade happens and players go. I mean, at least they didn't get booed, so you know, they got a happy welcome back. And I mean, they played well, so you know, I think it's a little. They said hi to the Garden. They're back, or where they were for their whole NBA career pretty much until now. So, but it was nice to see them. You know, it was nice seeing them. I think they probably had some talks with the Knicks players. Probably said hi. You know, but I think it was just pretty much just nice to see them back at the Garden. To be honest, they both had good games. Just I think Tibbs was impressed. I think everybody was impressed, and I think they were probably pretty happy after.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were happy to lose the game,
No, but
but there were definitely a lot of hugs and you know, kind of jokes and talks and stuff after the game. I think even before the game, there was some kind of video with RJ Barrett running up to Julius Randle and like giving him a beer hug, and actually during the game, during the game. While the Raptors were about to go down by 20 or something like that. It was very close to that. Somewhere in the I think it was the middle of the end of the third quarter. Randall and RJ kind of got into like a little, back and forth. Not an aggressive one, but kind of like I'm in his head, I'm in his head, Randall was saying. And then RJ missed the free throw after Randall saying that on the on the free throw line. And then Randall runs down. It's Randall's on offense now, and he puts up a three and he airballs it. And then the Raptors proceed to go on like a 7 point or 8 point run, cuts the lead down to like 12 or 10 points. It was terrible. It was terrible. But like it was
yeah,
also interesting, because you're right. They're friends and
we're all friends, man.
yeah, I'm sure they miss each other and I'm sure it was very emotional for them. So the emotion almost got the better of the basketball game as well because you got to keep your head in the game.
Yeah, man.
You're even though you're up by 18 or 16 or whatever it was, got to keep your head in the game and not make these things affect you. But yeah, it was an interesting night, interesting game.
Yeah, man. All eyes were on them. All eyes in the whole garden were just looking at Arjun quickly. To be honest, and of course, like I think probably most of the Knicks squad are very good friends with the Quicks and RJ. So I think it was pretty nice for them to just be back. I think it was a little bit of jokes going around. But yeah, I just, to be honest, I think, I mean, it was a good game from the Knicks. Kind of sad that we beat them by that much. I wanted maybe, to be honest, I wanted a better game. Like it was good and all, but I wanted some like something like some spicy close moments in that game, which really didn't really happen. But you can't expect everything.
I mean, the first half was kind of
It
close. I
was
mean,
pretty good.
yeah, the first half was pretty good, but once they got into the third quarter and
Wasn't like
things started to settle down, the Knicks were just too much for them. I would say that also they were missing a center pretty much the entire game. They didn't
yeah,
really
they
have a
were.
good, they didn't have anyone that was like really NBA starter level as their
It was
center.
pretty messy second half, to be honest.
Oh yeah, all the turnovers. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah, it
turnovers.
was
It
just
was not
weird,
good.
man.
Yeah, the Knicks are in a weird turnover spell lately, like kind of doing a bunch of really silly turnovers. Hopefully that doesn't continue. But at the same time, take a win. A win is a win.
Yeah, a win is a win. I mean, it wasn't like we were expected to lose. It's I don't know exactly where Toronto are at, but I think it's like 12th against 5th. So I like it should be a pretty like easy win. Especially with that it was a kind of new team. They just traded Siakam, you know. So I think it was pretty, we kind of knew that we were gonna win. It was a little bit of a shock in the first half, but I think in the third it kind of just settled down. So just good game.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. To be honest, in the first half, the Raptors actually took a lead, and the Knicks had
Yeah, they
to
did for a
cut.
while.
Yeah, the Knicks had to really cut into that and settle down. So, uh, Jalen Brunson dropped 40 points almost, or 38 points.
40.
I'll call that a 40, but yeah, he dropped a lot of points on him.
That man's got to be all-star.
Yeah, I mean that's controversy right now. I think most people think
No,
he's going to be an all-star, but is he going to be a starter? Is
he
he
should.
better? Do you think he's better than Trey Young?
Yes,
Do you think he's better than Donovan Mitchell?
at times.
Okay, okay.
Depends.
Do you think he's better than Tyrese Halliburton?
No, but no, no, no. Let me say this about Mitchell, right?
All right.
Mitchell is a one-man guy. He's the only man on his team that actually scores buckets. With Brunson, he's always Randall. And Randall also wants buckets. So I think to say because Mitchell average is probably better than Brunson, but that's also mostly just because he is a one-man guy. Every play they give it to Mitchell. And with the Knicks, it's more of a always switch between Randall and Brunson. And then Brunson also, I think, gets maybe slightly less game time than Mitchell, because Mitchell is more of like a superstar. But I think that at times, I think most of the time, actually, that Brunson is better.
To be honest, I like Brunson's game a lot. It's very
More.
impressive. Yeah, it's an impressive game. The people that said he can't pass or get in the lane and find people, they're wrong. He can do that.
Yeah, he's averaging way more assists now too.
Yeah. Uh, he can finish and
He
he
can
can
finish.
draw, he can draw a foul. I mean, his game is very impressive, because he's
He
just,
does what he does very well.
yeah, he's so in control.
The handles, the drives, to be able to shoot. You know, like a lot of guys just can't do that.
And I don't think Trey Young is as good at that as uh
No,
as
not
as
at all.
Brunson.
And also, I think just Brunson's just way more mature too. When
He,
it when it when it, when it
he's
comes to basketball, I think it's just just
he's much
smarter.
he's much more of a leader.
Yeah,
Much more.
smarter leader. He knows what he does. He doesn't do dumb stuff, really. So I think he's more than a level above Trae Young. I think Mitchell, they're still kind of they're at the same level. But also, as I said, I think Mitchell is more of a one man guy with his team compared to Brunson, who is more of a team player.
All right, so what about Halliburton? So right now I got Brunson as either first or second. What about Halliburton?
Well, I can't say that Brunson deserves first because that's kind of pushing it, you know. But I think All Star is enough.
Okay, all-star for sure, but I would say is no less than second then, based on what we've just been
No,
talking about.
no. I just think that I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't be first, you know.
So he might not start in the All-Star game.
Probably not. I'm guessing also because, you know, he's not mega famous in the NBA, to be honest.
Isn't that interesting that he's not mega famous? He's like on the New York Knicks.
It feels
He's
like Knicks never have a super famous guy though.
Carmelo Anthony was super famous. Patrick,
Yeah, but like except for that, like that was a while ago, you know.
very, you're right. It's not
Like we've
often.
had these guys that are very good. It's just that, and they make the All Star sometimes, but it's like we never have a guy who's just, you know, one of the faces of the NBA. This really doesn't happen. We're fifth seed in our division, you know, and we still don't have a guy that's like, well, okay, let's take for example, you know, I don't think we've ever had a guy on the Knicks who's like being if we go to Sweden, right? The people that watch basketball, even a lot of them know a single Knicks player. Like we need somebody like that that is somewhat more famous, and I think it just gives the Knicks a better reputation. But of course, I think Brunson is almost enough for that. I just think that it's kind of sad that Knicks haven't had a guy who's actually that big of a face for the NBA in a very, very long time.
So where stars are born, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm
In the
just saying.
playoffs. In the playoffs. Stars
Yeah,
are
I
born
know.
in the playoffs. So the Knicks have to do well in the playoffs again.
For it to actually for something that is true. We need to, I can't just say it on the players, but you know, we do need to come to like a conference final because otherwise, like it just doesn't happen.
When you get to a conference final, for sure, you got more people watching you. You get all the commercials, you get all the
Yeah.
deals, you
The
get,
one thing that can give us a superstar is also being smarter with our picks.
I mean, of course, yes. Uh,
We're gonna have a great reputation when it comes to picks.
oh, I mean, if you take RJ Barrett, for example, we just had to ship him out. So you're right.
Exactly.
But quickly is a good pick, but can he become a superstar? I don't know. That's one thing that we got
But
to
he
think
never was
about.
supposed to be. I mean, we drafted him, was it 20 something? That's not like, oh, it wasn't supposed to be something. He became something. But I mean, with RJ, he's third, man. He was behind John Morant. Just think that, and he's not even close to the level.
I mean, he had a good game yesterday. The thing with RJ is
I
this.
mean, yeah, of course, of course. I'm just saying that he's not that level.
Yeah, the thing with RJ is this. Uh, RJ is very good at the things that he's very good at. Maybe that sounds like I'm not saying much, but him driving downhill, like even yesterday, being able to, get to the line, even though he shot terrible from the line. I'm not even sure how he managed to shoot that bad. Uh,
He kind of showed us like RJ from a couple years ago.
that was bad. He was shooting much better free throws when he was actually on the team.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he when he when yeah, when he gets downhill and he's driving and he does the Euro step, he's very hard to beat. He's gonna make that
Yeah.
make
Like
that
when
lay.
when you see that RJ is going for a drive, you just know that it's hard to actually do something about it.
But like I still agree with you. He's no John Morant. John
Yeah.
Morant is the guy you put the ball in his hands at the end of the game and he's gonna win the game for you. Period. Point blank.
True,
That's
true.
Zion hasn't gotten to that level, but he's still, besides the weight issues, a very talented player. He could probably win the game for you too. Can
Yeah.
RJ win the game for you? Probably not.
Not
Not
really.
really. You can't really count on that. Although he has had at least one or two game winners in his career. Um, but let's talk about Julius Randle really quick. Julius Randle actually had a triple double. And even the last game, I think it was against the Wizards. He did this pass to OG Anunoby,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and he did this, kind of like a no look pass thing. So as soon as he did that pass, I was like, "Oh, this is Julius Magic Johnson, Randle." What do you think about Julius's game?
Uh, just great, man. I think I think he's gotten a little bit less selfish these last couple of games or months or weeks. But sometimes you see him being a little bit selfish at times. He still makes some bad plays, and he still isn't like most advanced. But I think he does what he does good on most nights, and I think he's still getting step forward. I think he's still improving. Of course, he's not as big of a superstar as he was before with the Knicks before Brunson, but I still think half of the games, you see him and he's like, whoa. And also compared to the start of the season, just how much he's improved. I think you and me, we were talking about trading him like for
Yeah,
just a couple months
yeah,
ago, man.
yeah,
We were
uh,
like, oh, we should trade Julius Randle.
yeah. I'm with you. I remember those talks. There were a few of them. I
There
would
were a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. And I would also say, even based on the last game, again, even those Toronto Raptors, they're pretty much the same as the Wizards these days, especially after trading
Yeah, they're not that great.
Siakam. They're not a good team. But he
No,
was he was very patient on some of his drives today or some of his,
he was.
I think he's getting better. Except for that little, like I said, back and forth with Barrett that kind of got the game out of hand. He had a
Yeah,
very control. Yeah, actually, he did that. He said fine. He's like, it's fine. We
yeah,
got
it's fine, man. It's fine.
he dropped a couple points in a row to the Raptors, but it felt like he felt that he had it under control.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's fine that he does that sometimes. You just don't become the guy who just trash talks the whole game. Like still perform, please. Like don't be the guy who's cocky and then just gets into foul trouble and then get like technicals and stuff. You know. But yeah, I think as you said, I think it's nice sometimes to see him be a little bit more. Also, I think it's fine if he just gets confidence. If he gets confidence from being a little bit of a, he talks a little. So just if he can be confident off that, that's fine. I think, and he's still improving. He's still getting. He's not really young, but he's still improving a lot. He's improving from the start of the season. I think he's still improving with his teammates, passing, just on the ball, IQ, pretty much. But there is a lot to learn. But he's also one of the main guys of the team, so I think he should also be learning out what he knows. But of course, just great game from him. Uh, just I just really hope that he can be consistent because it feels like almost every year, these last 2 years, pretty much, both years, it's been like every start of the season, it's been like questionable if we should trade Julius Randle, and I don't want that, but I can see it happening if he just doesn't keep on performing. So I just really hope they can keep this on and not be like in the start of the season that we are gonna have to talk about. Oh, we might trade Julius. Like he's been a Nick for more than you think, man.
Yeah, he's been a Knick for at least 5 years.
Yeah,
That's a very long time. Definitely even half of many people's NBA career these days. Again, for me, it goes back to playoff performance. You got to perform
it
in the
does.
playoffs, and the triple doubles are nice against the Raptors, but definitely hope to see that he can do this against good teams. Kick
Yeah,
the ball out. Of course, the shooter's got to knock it down. But now that we have OG Anunoby, we have Brunson, we have Dante DiVincenzo. We got some shooters out there. They should be able
yeah,
to knock these shots down. Find them. Get those.
For sure, for
seven,
sure.
8, 9, 10 assists. If you can get more, get more. And of course, keep driving to the lane, keep getting fouled. I would say his worst shots these days are the three-pointers still. Uh,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
he's doing okay. He had a good 3-point game, I think, yesterday. So he should still take those, but he definitely shouldn't take them, too much or in excess of what, he thinks is a good way to keep his percentages high. You want to move on to some trades with the bench?
Yeah, man. I think a trade is always a possibility with the Knicks, I think. Yeah. So let's get into that, man. So you sent me some stuff, you know. I was like I hadn't watched the news or anything, and you told me Marcus Smart and D Rose for Quentin Grimes and Fournier. I was so shocked. The second I saw that text, I went on my phone, man. I went on my phone and I checked it. And I was trying to like search. I was like, oh maybe it's like new news and stuff. I thought it was like it came up for seconds ago, so it might not be out yet. But then like 10 minutes later, you're like, it was just like a thought. And I was like so mad inside. I was like, oh man. Because that trade would have been a steal.
I think that that's funny that you think that that trade is a steal. That means that it's a good trade, but I I'm not sure if it's a good trade myself. I love Marcus Smart though. That's the thing. I think Marcus Smart is a really, really, really good player. And
Yeah,
uh, I think he brings obviously the defense, he brings the 3-point shooting, he brings the leadership, he brings experience in terms
yeah,
of his previous playoff experience, and he's just all around a solid teammate. Then you add Derrick Rose to that. He's actually had a good year in terms of not necessarily being available. He still gets injured, but when he has played in the start of the season, or if he's getting in, I think he's injured now. I'm not sure, but when he's getting into games, he's playing all right. So if you can kind of save him for like a spark off the bench, you need some offense, you just plug him in there. That's what we brought him in here for last time.
yeah, man.
So I was just thinking, at bare minimum, I know we might get a lot of hate for that trade, and I'm sorry, I know I got a lot of hate from you for sending that without it being a real trade. But if we can pull that off, I still think that that would be a good trade for the team.
Though the thing is, we're losing some potential with Grimes, though.
I don't think we're losing much anymore. I'm over
You don't think so?
Grimes. No, I'm over Grimes now. I know his
Yeah,
game. His
sure.
game isn't improving. He's not getting to the hoop.
Yeah, I think it maybe his purpose of the team is flowing away.
His
I think
purpose on
what
the
he came
team.
here to do is like not what he's doing. And
We wanted him to develop a full game. Play
yeah, we
total
wanted him
package.
to be good on the offense, be able to drive, be able to shoot, but then guard some guys. He wasn't here to be like, well, sometimes he can guard a good guy, and maybe if we're lucky, he can make that shot. He was supposed to be, oh, he's open. Yeah, he's gonna make that. Oh, look, Grimes has the ball. He might drive it. But no, he became the guy who's like, oh no, Grimes has the ball now. And oh, this is gonna be hard for him to guard this guy. It's like a little bit of a downgrade of what he was supposed to be.
I mean, he really hasn't evolved. But we'll see. I just think that, like you're saying, his place on the team has changed. He's obviously not the starter anymore, and
No, no.
he's also getting less and less minutes every game. He did
It's
play
crazy
some.
that it's kind of crazy to think about that he was a starter I mean he was for a while. Just for period he was, which is kind of shocking to me because it takes me back that he was actually good.
Well, he's still
Like
good, but he's only good in particular scenarios, right?
no, I know, but like for a while, for a couple games, which he started, it was like this guy can guard guys. But now it's more of like he really doesn't do it as well. It feels like almost he's kind of an inconsistent guy. Like some guys, they go up and then they go straight down. Some of them just go up slowly. But this guy goes like and I just keep on sinking.
Yeah, it's hard to say whether it's, physical or some kind of motivational issues with him. I mean, he did
Yeah,
have a
no,
good block yesterday. Uh, I still think he can play decent defense. I just think
he can.
his offensive game is not evolving enough for the team. That said, maybe Marcus Smart is not the best offensive option. He can shoot a good
It's a little
three.
bit of just an old guy coming in, pretty much.
Another Josh Hardish kind of person, but
It's more of an experience type stuff.
yeah. But then what do you think about some other options on the table, such as Malcolm Brogdon from Portland and or Jordan Clarkson from Utah?
Maybe not as hyped. From my point of view, maybe not as hyped trades, but uh, they sort of fit the Knicks. I'd say. I can see them in a Knicks jersey one day, but I think just for now it's even questionable if the Knicks are going to trade again until like the free agency and what's going to happen then and like contract stuff. But it's all question if any trade is going to happen. But as you said, like Grimes isn't really performing, Fournier isn't doing anything anymore. So as you said, there can be a trade. Though it almost feels like I don't want to trade. If it like from my point of view, it's more of like if something bad happens. It's not like just a normal thing. I think a trade happens if something crazy happens, or if this, let's say, Grimes get into arguments and stuff, or like he wants more money, or if like he just is crazily underperforming. I mean, he is underperforming, but not like that much that we need to trade him. I think it's more of a we don't need to give him another contract type thing. Like we don't need to trade Grimes. We could, and it wouldn't be a shock. It's just that there's no need to push for a trade right now. I think we're still adjusting with OG. I think the Raptors trade was big trade enough. We dropped quickly and RJ were pretty much the biggest guys and one of the biggest, guys that we've picked up from a draft ever, or for a long time. Maybe probably not ever, but for a long time. Having RJ was third, was had been expecting a lot, and then from quickly was becoming a superstar, sort of. Because always like already losing them, I think it's just putting in another sort of big trade is kind of a little bit too much because we're still adjusting a lot. So hopefully, I kind of just want to keep this season calm and try and get as far as we can in the playoffs.
So that's the thing. The team is definitely shopping Quentin Grimes. That's the news that came out this past week. So I believe that they're actually trying to trade him,
Yeah.
um, regardless of, if we want to keep him or not. And I do think that based on the games that I've been watching, he's just not going to be enough for keeping the offense going when the
No,
bench
probably
comes
not.
in. So if we want to win anything, not against the Toronto Raptors, if we want to beat the good teams, I think we have to make a trade. And
Possibly, yeah.
as we had talked about, Utah hasn't really given up yet. Maybe on their season, they've been winning a lot
There's a
lately.
lot of teams that are like between we should give up and we should push because I think a lot of teams are also getting back into form. Like some teams that are down there, they're getting form and then they're thinking if we can go through the play-in, we can maybe get for in the playoffs. And then they might also on the other side be thinking, oh well, we can just not try and push too much. We might get a great pick. So
Okay,
I
so
think there's a
let's
lot
say
of teams that are like kind of want to trade, kind of want to stop going and pushing. Some teams want to keep pushing. There's a lot of teams between that.
yeah, so let's say that the Jazz are still waiting to figure that out. Obviously, Portland with Malcolm Brogdon is not waiting to figure that out. They're not going to win anything this year or even next year necessarily. Uh, what do you think about Malcolm Brogdon? He was on the Celtics before, remember?
Yeah, yeah. I guess he somewhat fits the team. Though as I said before, I don't really know how much like the thing what you said with Marcus Smart and the thing what you said about Marcus Smart and D Rose is like, that's such a win situation, but I cannot see uh um us getting Jordan Clarkson or Brogdon um for Grimes and Fournier. So I think we'd probably have to change something up with that trade. I mean, I guess he fits the Knicks somewhat. He kind of has somewhat of a Thibodeau kind of style of play ish. But to be honest, I'm just not feeling a lot of players that are on our list to trade for. But hopefully we can get some good of a trade. If we could get Brogdon or Clarkson for Fournier and the Grimes, just great. But I mean, otherwise, just if we had to put anybody else in for them, I'd just not be too happy with the trade.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to trade any of the starters,
No,
or anyone else, really. There are only a few people that are available to trade, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I think the bench needs an upgrade or two for sure, you know.
that is true. That is true.
So I'm not that happy with, McBride and Grimes
Yeah.
leading the offense for the bench.
A lot of teams that go far in the playoffs, they have depth, especially if any of our big players get injured. We already have Robinson out. Thankfully, we have two centers that can play good, or at
Well,
least one who's sort of consistent.
now Hartenstein is hurt, so we'll see
Yeah, yeah, that's
how far we
that is
go. But the upcoming games, the next game is at our neighbors over in Brooklyn. I was going to say New Jersey. I was very close to saying that. Um, but over in Brooklyn, we got the Nets, and then we have who? We have a couple of home games, right? We have
yeah, man.
the Nuggets, and we have the Heat, and then we go to the Hornets, back at home versus the Jazz and Jordan Clarkson. The
Yeah, man.
Pacers with Siakam, the Lakers at home, the Grizzlies
There
at
is some big games. There,
if that Grizzlies trade goes down, maybe we'll have it done by February 6th when we face them uh, at the Garden. So
there's a
yeah, I mean
lot of stuff.
we still got a lot of home games coming up.
We got a lot of games in general.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no celebrating yet of playoffs and stuff. It's still a big fight, and also that we're in the middle of the sandwich. We're in the middle of the playoff sandwich. I think that we're fighting. It keeps going up, but I don't know how far we can get because when we look up and we see the teams that are in front of us, that's big teams, man. Some big, big teams. So just hopefully we can not drop. I don't want to see the Knicks going down. That's it. I'm fine with it.
We got to definitely keep our uh, steady play. We got to play
Yeah,
well
man.
each of these games. But I do think that we should win these. Last time we said that, we should beat Dallas and we should beat Memphis. We lost to Dallas and barely beat Memphis. So,
Though I'm
um,
not. I mean, we still have a pretty good record. I'd say.
oh yeah,
I would
we have
say,
a great record,
yeah.
great record. But yeah,
Though we're also very close to a lot of teams.
yeah. I mean, it's a tight race.
It's a tight race between fourth and I don't know eighth. I think somewhere there. So I think just a couple games of losses and then you're down there. But just hopefully just don't drop next, please. And don't let anything dumb happen. Like Brunson or Randall cannot get injured. Like if that scenario happens, it's not gonna be great.
Yeah, let's not even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, let's close on that end. Definitely
Yeah.
looking forward to the coming games versus the Nets and then the other home games. Hopefully we can use those games to, spring forward in the standings so we don't have to worry about, being all, am I going to be seventh today or am I going to be fourth or whatever. Am I in a play-in? Am I in the top half of the standings? So we got to get some separation with the team, and hopefully,
Yeah.
some consistent play. We can do that. That said, I still think we need to do a trade. The sooner the better, so the players can get accustomed to each other.
Sure.
So we can make a good playoff run. But yeah, we'll see how that happens. Lots in the news for this, so I definitely want to see something happen. Do you want to close us out? Anything from your end? Take us away.
Mm, nothing much to be honest. Just I'm just happy with the Knicks right now. There's nothing crazy changes. If we make a trade, I don't want it to be a starter. I just want it to be getting a better bench and better depth. But I mean, not much except for that. Uh, just don't make anything stupid now, Knicks. Please don't make any dumb trades. Just keep it smooth. Maybe get in some bench players. Get in some guys that can replace if they get tired or if they get injured. But otherwise, like I really got nothing.
Yeah. You actually mentioned something with the minutes. Nick's been playing a lot of minutes, or a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
players have been playing a lot of minutes lately. Anunoby's been playing like 40 something minutes, same as Randall, I think, and stuff. So, yeah, we need some more players in here.
I need some more guys who are
Some
actually
more
good.
guys. Yeah, yeah, we need some more guys that are good. All right, we'll close on that one, right? Yeah, great
Yeah,
talking
man.
to you. I'm sorry you're not here in Portugal, but you'll be
Me
here.
too, man. Me too.
You'll be here in April or something, right? So
Yeah,
looking forward to that. Have a really good night, son, and
yeah, I
I'll
will.
talk to you later. Yeah,
I will.
yeah. All right. Love you. Take care.
Love you too.
Peace.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.